before that. Okay. Yes, Hare Krishna. So today's topic is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 6th chapter, shloka number 34. So I'll just share the shloka and I request one devotee to be my chorus. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Chayam Udhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seveya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.6.34. I hope my screen is visible. Can one of you please confirm?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay,
प्रभु
sir.
अगर थोड़ा zoom कर सकते.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji, sure. I'll zoom it. Okay.
Thank you.
So today's shloka is Srimad Bhagavatam 1.6.34. Please repeat after me. Etad ātura-cittānāṁ. Etad ātura-cittānāṁ. Mātrā-sparśecchayā muhuḥ.
Mātrā-sparśecchayā muhuḥ.
bhava-sindhu-plavo dṛṣṭo.
bhava-sindhu-plavo dṛṣṭo.
hari-caryānuvarṇanam.
hari-caryānuvarṇanam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Word by word meaning. Etad, this, he, certainly, ātura-cittānāṁ, of those whose minds are always full of cares and anxieties. Mātrā, objects of sense enjoyment. Sparśa, senses. Icchayā, by desiring. Muhuḥ, always. Bhava-sindhu, the ocean of nescience. Plavaḥ, boat. dṛṣṭaḥ, experienced. hari-carya, activities of Hari, the personality of Godhead. anuvarṇanam, constant recitation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is personally experienced by me that those who are always full of cares and anxieties due to desiring contact of the senses with their objects can cross the ocean of nescience on a most suitable boat. The constant chanting of the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. Purport. The symptom of a living being is that he cannot remain silent even for some time. He must be doing something, thinking or something, or talking about something. Generally, the materialistic men think and discuss about subjects which satisfy their senses. But as these things are exercised under the influence of external illusory energy, such sensual activities do not actually give them any satisfaction. On the contrary, they become full with cares and anxieties. This is called Maya, or what is not. That which cannot give them satisfaction is accepted as an object for satisfaction. So Narad Muni, by his personal experience, says that satisfaction for such frustrated being engaged in the sense gratification is to chant always the activities of the Lord. The point is that subject matter only should be changed. No one can check the thinking activities of living being, nor the feeling, willing, or working process. But if one wants actual happiness, one must change the subject matter only. Instead of talking of the politics of a dying man, one might discuss the politics administered by the Lord himself. Instead of relishing activities of the cinema artist, one can turn his attention to the activities of the Lord with his eternal associates like gopis and lakshmis. The Almighty Personality of Godhead, by his causeless mercy, descends to the earth and manifests activities almost on the line of worldly men, but at the same time extraordinarily, because he is Almighty. He does so for the benefit of all conditioned soul so that they can turn their attention to transcendence. By doing so, the conditioned soul will gradually be promoted to the transcendental position and easily cross the ocean of nescience, the source of all miseries. This is stated from the personal experience by such an authority as Sri Narad Muni. And we can have the same experience also if we begin to follow in the footsteps of the great sage, the dearmost devotees of the Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितम हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता श्री राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। तुम करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते श्री गुणेन्द्राणं परमानन्दं Sri Chaitanyeshwaram. So Hare Krishna, quite an interesting topic today, and I think this is something which we love a lot in our day-to-day life. So let me just begin with the purport, explanation a little bit, and then we'll go a little bit more on the practical application, how we are doing in the day-to-day life. So at any point of time, if my video is not clear or audio is not clear, just let me know so that we can accordingly take an action. So here Prabhupada is mentioning the symptom of a living being is that he cannot remain silent even for some time. He must be doing something, thinking of something, or talking about something. Generally, the materialistic men think and discuss about the subjects which satisfy their senses. So this is something which we all agree that, we cannot remain silent for even a second. Whatever we do, always, because we are the pranis, we are the jivas of the Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga is, people's mind is so restless. What to talk of Kali Yuga? Even the previous yugas, people's mind was very difficult to manage. But yes, that time situation was comfortable, favorable, and people could, practice sadhana. People could go to the forest and do tapasya, perform big yagnas or duty worship. It was being done. But at this age of Kali, the mind is so restless. The main reason for mind to be so restless is because the kind of exposure our senses are getting, it is making us all the more disturbed. So sometimes devotee's mind is also disturbed, but devotee's mind is fine. It's very rare that they become disturbed because they are always well nourished by, the association of the Vaishnavas, and they can easily pick them up back. They realize, okay, I think I'm going wrong, and immediately they are cautioned. So, but we must feel very, very, compassionate for the other jivas, other living entities, including human beings who are living in this age of Kali and who are going through a lot of, miseries because their senses are exposed to so many things. People are watching movies, people are watching, OTT platforms, web series, so many things they are doing. And the result is that they're becoming all the more disturbed, So here, we have to be very careful here, because it's not only for our satisfaction that we have to do something, we have to keep doing something, but it is the need of the hour that we, instead of doing something, stupid, it is better that we start practicing Bhakti Yoga more seriously. Now, when I make this point, many of you must be thinking, why Bhakti Yoga? Why not any other thing? Because we have seen people doing a lot of things. Because everybody knows the empty mind is devil's workshop. Everybody knows, even I think in the school also they teach nowadays. But the point is, what are they doing just to not keep their mind empty? Like we see people are keeping themselves busy. Like sometimes when I go through, when I travel to my office, I pass through a house and I see the owner of the house is seated also outside, putting a chair and reading newspaper, very, very, you know, putting full attention. He is not seeing anywhere. And this is his regular activity because I go through his house every day and I see that activity every day. And he's fully engrossed. He doesn't know that what is coming, what is going. He's fully into the newspaper. He's reading every bit of it. We don't even read Bhagavatam like that. So he's reading newspaper like that. And what is there in the newspapers? Of course, there is some, we need to have the general knowledge that is good. We need to know what is current. That is fine. But most of the time, newspaper will have things which is going to keep your mind disturbed. And what other people do, they don't like newspaper, so they start gossiping. They meet in the park or they meet in the, any other place. They go for a walk and what they do, they keep gossiping all the time. Some people are, interested in traveling. They say, I would like to travel. So they travel in, local areas. Then they go regional, they go national, and they go international. And ultimately, they realize that they have traveled the entire globe. But again, when they ask themselves that, are they satisfied? The answer is again the same. They are not satisfied. So the point is that instead of doing so many things and engaging themselves just to ensure the mind is not empty, so they are doing so many other things. But as a human being and as an intelligent person and as an Indian, we must know that what is the purpose of this human life. This is the important question which we must ask always to ourselves. Maybe if it is possible, we can put a sticker somewhere where we can remind ourselves, are you doing justice to your human life? Because if we don't put a sticker, we'll forget. We are so forgetful. Maya is so strong that, and that in the age of Kali, we will forget. So we need to have this sticker somewhere in place where it reminds us that, are you making the correct use of your human life? Because being an Indian, and also even if you are not an Indian, one thing is common. People understand that there are evil spirits. People understand that there is a reincarnation. People understand that there is punarjanam. So they know these things. So when they know these things, it means they also know that they are not this body. We have to just, a little bit improvise on that idea and understand that if I'm not the body, then who am I? That is the question we must ask. And then when we ask this question, then we will get this answer, the question which I asked, why we should accept Bhakti Yoga instead of doing so many other things. So Prabhupada is also writing here that, the irony is that the more they are discussing all these subject matters, because this is giving them joy, what is happening? They're not becoming satisfied. On the contrary, Prabhupada is saying, on the contrary, they become full with cares and anxieties. The more you discuss these material topics, the more you become full of anxieties, full dryness. And the example I remember from a class given by His Grace Jagat Sakshi Prabhuji, he was saying people are not satisfied. And the example is that, the hairstyle. Of course, our ISKCON hairstyle is different, which is something unique. But yes, and we don't change that hairstyle. We have a clean shaved head and then we keep a shikha. So that is the hairstyle we keep. We are satisfied with that. But you see outside world, they are having different hairstyle. People used to have first like this kind of hairs, going back, and then they thought, okay, going back is not good. Then they started putting all the the hairs in the front. Then they realized, okay, front is not good. Then what they did, they started parting from the center, and sometimes they tried that. Then again they did one side partition, then they said this side partition, then they made all hair standing, then they shaved their head. So that is about the hairstyle. They are not satisfied, they are not getting satisfaction, they are trying different things. Similarly, we can see the dressing also. They are trying different things, torn jeans, various kind of jeans, various kind of trousers, half trouser, full trouser, low waist, upper waist, what what and all, we don't know. They keep trying so many things. We have seen people trying different adventure sports, scuba diving, paragliding, parasailing, skydiving, this, that, so many things. The whole purpose is that they want to enjoy, but they enjoy very less. They enjoy for that moment, spending a lot of money, but again, they become dry. And that is what Prabhupada is mentioning here. They are, on the contrary, they are with becoming full with cares and anxieties. This is called Maya, or what is not. And that is why devotees very intelligent. They do not waste their time like this. but rather they enjoy relishing the laddu of bhakti. And that is what the normal people, even if somebody is not a devotee, they should at least try. Trial is not an issue, because we have tried so many things. When the marketing happens, people give those small trial packets. We have tried. So we have to try. There is nothing harm going in trying. And what is the difficulty in trying when we are doing mantra meditation early in the morning? Just chant your 16 rounds, eat nicely, but offer to the Lord, and then you eat. And then go to the places, go to the holy dham, try for a year, try for a month, but give a try. Trying is not a problem. So when we try, then we realize, oh, it was really good. I was not even trying. What is the harm in trying? People try drugs also. So I don't say you try drugs, but yes, you try the laddu of bhakti. This is very sweet. There are several examples which can prove that it is sweet. But yes, even if you don't believe in the examples, try yourself for once, and then you understand how sweet is this laddu of bhakti. All right, so moving ahead, we see here the examples of Narad Maharishi. So Narad Maharishi is speaking all these points, and it is not that out of nowhere Narad Maharishi started speaking these points. We have got the entire background of this, pastime, how this happened, who was Narad Maharishi, what happened to his life, how did he, end his life was ended, and how he came back, how is he connected to Brahmaji, what are his realizations. So see, it is not a some rule which says that you have to do this. No, Lord is so merciful. It is being explained so nicely here, from the proper foundation until this point, that why this is done, why it is said, why Narad Maharishi is mentioning all these points. So I'll read further. So Prabhupada is mentioning here. So Narad Muni, by his personal experience, says that the satisfaction for such frustrated being engaged in the sense gratification is to chant always the activities of the Lord. The point is that the subject matter only should be changed. It is as simple as that. And this is very, very important. Prabhupada is saying the point is that the subject matter only should be changed. So I remember one lecture I was hearing, Amoglila Prabhuji was mentioning, he was saying, in Hindi, he was saying, people always say, Bate kam, kaam zada. Bate kam, kaam zada. And then he says, this is the philosophy of donkeys. So I was surprised, how come donkey's philosophy? Because normally we see if people are talking, they're wasting their time. But then Prabhu explained, he said that Bate kam, kaam zada is a donkey's philosophy. Actually, we should talk more, but we should not talk material topics. We should not talk these topics which are making us more dry. But what we should talk, like here, Narad Maharishi is explaining that we should talk the subject matter of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord, the activities of the Lord. And that is why, so we should talk more of those things and do our work in such a manner which is going to just keep ourselves, in a manageable situation. Don't waste your entire 17, 18 hours in, working like a so-and-so, but rather our life, human life, is to discuss the glories and the pastimes of the Lord. And that is what Narad Maharishi is mentioning here. And even Prabhupada is saying that the point is, we have to change the subject matter. So this is such an easy task in the age of Kali. What difficulty it is to discuss the glories of the Lord. And I think the leaders will agree, when we start the Bhakti Rikshas, we start sharing the pastimes of the Lord. We start with the stories, and that is what attracts people a lot. And that is why we see Krishna and Lord Sri Ram, they have performed so many leelas. It is not that they had to perform leelas. They have done this leelas just to give us the services. And that is something which people should understand, which people should see. If they don't read, if they don't hear, if they don't go to the temple, how will they understand this? They cannot, they are not like Lord Buddha, who will just sit under a tree and they will get all these enlightenment, doing sense gratification activities and they get enlightenment. It is not going to happen. People have to become intelligent and they have to start participating. So Krishna has done wonderful leelas. Lord Sri Ram has done wonderful leelas. We have to just we couldn't participate in those leelas, but yes, now we can participate if you are hearing and discussing the glories of the Lord. It is such simple. You can tell your children the stories of the Lord, pastimes of the Lord when you are going to the sleep. You can discuss Srimad Bhagavatam in your house every day. One shloka. There are wonderful pastime stories. Some, amazing stories are there which are not even there with these movie makers, the producers and directors. They don't have. So see, Lord is so powerful. He can do wonderful things. But if people do not even read, do not even hear, do not even go to the people who are discussing these pastimes, then it is our own fault. It is not the fault of anyone else. And then we say, oh, I think Hinduism is lacking this. Oh, I think Islam is good. Oh, I think, or maybe vice versa also. It's not about a particular religion, but it is about knowing what is Sanatan Dharma, what is the duty of a human, and reading Bhagavad Gita with an open mind. Then we see that it is going to help us a lot. There are several pastimes of the Lord, numerous pastimes which makes us so happy. Yesterday, Temple President was discussing about Polavecha Sridhar and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastimes. And it was so nice. It was so nectarian that, we couldn't control our, joyful. It was not a comedy. It was joyful laughter. The heart was fully content with hearing what Prabhuji was sharing. So like that, we can also do this. We can share more about the Lord's pastimes. And then we'll understand who is Lord Sri Ram, who is Lord Krishna, who is Lord Shiva. We will understand the position of all the devatas. So I won't go much in the examples. I know you all know all those points. Maybe some other point time we can discuss that. So in the interest of time, I'll proceed further. So Prabhupada is writing, but if one wants actual happiness, so this is very important. Prabhupada is saying, if one wants actual happiness, one must change the subject matter only. Instead of talking of the politics of a dying man, one might discuss the politics administered by Lord himself. Instead of relishing activities of cinema artists, one can turn his attention to the activities of the Lord with his eternal associates like gopis and lakshmis. The Almighty Personality of Godhead, by his causeless mercy, descends to earth and manifests activities almost on the line of worldly men, but at the same time extraordinarily. So we see that Lord Krishna, he did lift Govardhan, but he lifted in a he performed his activities extraordinarily. Lifting Govardhan is not an easy task. We cannot lift 5 kgs with our finger. So see, that is extraordinary activities. Lord Shiva also did extraordinary activities. Lord Sri Ram also did extraordinary activities because he is almighty. He does so for the benefit of all conditioned souls so they can turn their attention. See, that is why Lord is doing such extraordinary activities so that at least these stupid fools who are not even knowing that who is Lord, they can at least turn their attention. Oh, something big has happened. Oh, okay, like this. Okay. So at least then they will turn. And Prabhupada is saying, by doing so, the conditioned soul will gradually be promoted to the transcendental position and easily cross the ocean of nescience, the source of all miseries. So we have to cross this ocean of nescience because the miseries are here. This place is full of kuntha. And when we cross this, it becomes Vaikuntha. And then Prabhupada is making the last 2 lines very, very important. And I'm ending with these last 2 lines. Prabhupada is saying, this is stated from personal experience by such an authority as Sri Narad Muni. And we can have the same experience also if we begin to follow in the footsteps of the great sage, the dearmost devotee of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patita Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai. So Hare Krishna, thanks a lot for listening patiently. And if you have any questions, clarifications, or comments, you are welcome.